what chemistry of powder I want to use. I've got if there's a specific need on the product, there may be a specific chemistry of powder that I want to use. So I want to talk through all these for a minute, and you can always go back, keep this book, and you can always go back through your book to look at these. But here's what your options are going to be. So I'm going to buy that red, right? I can buy it in an epoxy. That is an epoxy red. Epoxies have good corrosion resistance, but they have poor UV stability. They have the best corrosion resistance of any of it. Good chemical resistance, but they have very poor UV resistance. If you were to coat a piece of fence in an epoxy powder, after they go install it, about a month later, you're going to get this chalky film on the top of it. You go wipe the chalky film off, another couple of weeks, 2 months going to go by, chalky film again. It's the powder degrading because of the UV light. It will not hold up to UV. But why would you use it? A master cylinder on a car, right? It's going to get brake fluid on it. It's not really going to see sunlight, so I need very good chemical resistance, but I need no UV resistance. If the part you're going to do, if that's what it needs, an epoxy is going to be the way you want to go. The most common that we see are polyesters and polyurethanes. Now on your polyesters, you may see them called polyester. I'm just going to move this slightly. There we go. Polyester and polyurethane, the most common ones that we see. Very similar, and they both have very good UV resistance and a decent amount of chemical resistance. Here's the biggest difference between the two. Now, let me back this up. That says polyester TGIC. The reason I put that there is you may see a polyester called polyester. They may call it TGIC polyester. They may just call it TGIC. TGIC is a triglycol isocyanurate. It's just a chemical that's in some polyesters. They may call it TGIC-free polyester, but they are all basically the same thing for the purpose of what you're using them for. So the difference between a polyester and polyurethane is this. Polyester can be formulated to cure at lower temps. Polyurethane, you can achieve a smooth surface with a lower film. So let's talk about that for a second. So polyurethane. Your powders typically go on at about 2 to 3 mils thick is where you're probably going to average out at. You can get polyurethane, you can actually get polyurethanes that will lay down and flow out smoothly at about 0.8 mils thick. A really thin layer. Why does that matter? When compact computers, you remember when your computer used to be the whole big thing underneath your desk and whatever? Those of you old enough to remember that? As they were always trying to make computers smaller and faster, smaller and faster, smaller and faster, smaller and faster, smaller and faster. Every thousandth of an inch mattered. I used to have the contract where we coded every compact computer housing in the United States at one of the companies that I ran about years ago. And so if fit and function matter of how things are going to fit together, and you can't have the build at all, you can actually get urethanes that will go on at a much lower film build.